make it work. Go
How's
ahead. Yeah,
how was Point Fest?
it was good. The lineup was good. Papa Roach put on a great show, and
They were your favorite.
I think so. We jetted a little early, but I'll tell you this: as far as like the actual show part, highly suspect puts on a crazy good show.
I'm glad you brought that up. Now, I don't want to get too off topic because there is something else we need to discuss that happened during that day. But so, like, I've always not been a fan of that band.
I'm not necessarily.
But hold on.
Go ahead.
How many members are there in that band?
Oh man, at
Okay,
least
from what I saw,
six, I think, maybe more.
6, 4. From what I saw in pictures of
Was that
them
really?
playing live at that show, I saw 4.
Okay.
Now,
Oh, okay.
I thought they used to be a 3-piece, and the skinny guy who never likes to wear a shirt was the lead singer. But now they have a chubby guy as a lead singer?
Apparently that's the same guy.
No way.
Here's why I know this, because while I was sitting there, a good buddy of ours was sitting next to me, and he said, "That guy's put on some weight."
No way.
Yeah, and I said, and I didn't really know what he was talking about because I haven't followed the band enough to know what the lead singer really looks like. He said, "Yeah, he's put on a lot of weight."
So
And I
did
made
they add another skinny guy who looks identical to him to join the band?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about the band to know this, but I had made the comment saying, well, apparently he's hitting all the fast food joints on tour. And he said, yeah. And then the funniest thing about that whole thing is that he was wearing shorts that said ice cream. And I just thought that was hilarious because we're talking about a guy who apparently gained a crap load of weight. And I was like, he's literally wearing shorts that say ice cream. But yeah, apparently it's the same guy from what I hear.
I don't think it is, man.
Okay.
Like, we don't need to pull up pictures of them. It doesn't matter. I was just curious because I don't pay attention to that band. I've never liked them. I just don't. They're not for me.
They put on a great show as far as the live show and as far as the energy of the band goes. He doesn't have a whole lot of energy. He kind of just walks around the stage, but all the songs are like 10 minutes long, man.
Oh,
And it's
that's
all more
a nightmare.
talking than anything. Like I don't,
It's a nightmare.
yeah, it's
I
not
don't want
my,
anything to do with that.
yeah. I will tell you this, and I know you're going to hate me for it, but Hailstorm, her voice is ridiculous, dude. And the fact that she can do that day in and day out is insane.
Yeah, again, not for me. I'm not gonna hate.
Yeah.
I've seen them plenty of times. I played with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also had the Struts on main stage, which was it. They're interesting. They are from Germany. Is that right? I don't remember. I don't remember where they're from. He was very eccentric, like a David Bowie type.
Okay, so that automatically means German, or?
No, I'm just trying to think of. They told us where they were from, and I forgot.
All right, now I'm gonna look it up, and if you're way wrong,
then we're gonna edit it out.
Nope, keeping it in. They're from the UK, and that's what I kind of figured as soon as you said it, but we'll let that ride. Okay. Not a big deal. Close enough. Same continent. Who's your least favorite band of the day?
Well, probably a side stage band, like maybe The Warning.
Don't know who that is.
Probably. I didn't either. Brook Royal, though, we got there right as Brook Royal started, and they sounded really good, which I'm really happy for. And our buddy Al Coretta sounded awesome too, because he did a lot of vocals.
Al's the man.
He is the man.
He's made me sound tolerable for many, many years. So in more than one band. So
yeah. Now we didn't.
I'm surprised that they sounded so good. They've always sounded good.
I know they do. I haven't seen them. I mean, they haven't played in a long time. And I haven't seen them play in a long time, and I miss it. I wish I could see them play more. The only band that we talked about, Yellow Wolf, on the show last time, and we didn't actually watch any of it. We actually bailed and got some food because they were the last band on before main stage. And I don't know if we've talked about this before or not, but it's got to suck to be the first main stage band.
It's terrible
because the last side stage band always runs over by like 20 to 30 minutes, which runs over the first main stage band. So the main stage band doesn't even have half the crowd there.
Who was the first band?
The Struts.
Yeah, and it's light out, and
yeah,
it's terrible spot.
Yeah, but overall, it was a good day. It was a good show.
So the Warning was your least favorite.
From what I've seen, yeah, I think.
Didn't you say that New Year's Day was on the lineup too?
They were.
Not a fan.
I mean, maybe if they sang, if it wasn't all tracks.
You know, isn't it crazy that like 2 months ago you didn't even know what tracks were, and now it's the only thing you notice when you watch.
Thank you for fucking me up on that. That's great.
Sorry, man. I really shouldn't do that to people who aren't in the know. But did Hailstorm use tracks?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So New Year's Day uses heavy tracks, is what you're saying?
For the most part, yeah. I bet at least 85% of their show was tracks.
They're on the heavier side, right?
They are. Yeah, she does a lot of screaming. Yep.
I wonder who they're on tour with. They were on Point Fest. They're probably who they touring with, Papa Roach or something.
I don't.
That makes sense.
I don't. Maybe I don't think so though.
Because they usually buy tour packages for that. Well, Point Fest, but festivals like that in general, they buy a tour package so they get a couple bands.
Yeah.
I wonder who they're on tour with. I'm not gonna look it up, but yeah, I don't care that much. But yeah, I could see them using a lot of tracks. They strike me as a band that would. But again, everybody does.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I ruined it.
Another comment that you made, which still it blows my mind, and you said after seeing pictures that you understand now why it's blown my mind so much. But you said several times that when you played the local stage at Point Fest, you never played for like less than 1,000 people. And you said you've seen pictures of Point Fest this year from the local stage, and it was a ghost town. And we walked by the local stage once, and it was a ghost town. There was hardly.
Can I tell you the first problem?
I'm listening.
They're still calling it a local stage. We need to stop that.
Yeah.
Let's just stop it. Let's just call it a stage. Give it a cool name, and let people cruise by. Because I'm telling you, that's what's making people not walk over there now.
But the
fact that they know it's local.
But also, how many people are actually walking that direction? And the reason why I say this is because as soon as you walk in the gates, on your right are the two side stages, and then straight ahead, and to the left of those is the main stage. You could stay there all day long, and then you could walk around the backside of the main stage to get to the bathrooms and to get to the food and everything, and never once pass the local stage during the day. The local stage is off on the other side.
Yeah.
Basically way out in the middle of nowhere.
It was the same stage setup that I played, and I played for 1,000+ people. So
let me ask you this.
There are many things have changed, but I think the first thing they need to do is stop calling it a local stage. Stop.
So when you played that stage at Point Fest, was it a lot about you guys selling tickets? Kind of like if you were playing Pops or something like that, or no? Like, did you, it wasn't, it was just you guys had a following, or was it just that the bands were more popular, I guess, at that time?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to.
Something has definitely happened.
Something has happened, and I don't want to know. I don't necessarily want to give you my real feelings on this because I don't want to insult. I don't want to insult anyone. What I know is this. Well, look, I don't know if bands were more popular then. I'll tell you that the music industry was different. So there were a lot of bands who were grinding, and they really thought that they were going to get a record deal. So they treated every show like this is it. Now, I'm not saying that bands today don't do that. And I don't know why I'm saying this. I'm still an artist, and but I'm not saying that bands in St. Louis today still don't do that. But from what I've seen, I don't necessarily think they do. Okay.
Well, that's kind of why I'm asking. When you guys did pop shows and stuff, a lot of times you guys were out there grinding and trying to sell tickets and stuff like that. Now,
we were.
Okay. All right. But, and now I think it was also a time where we didn't really have social media too, or not near as much, at least maybe in MySpace or something like that. But now it just seems like, and I'm not going to name any bands specifically, but it just seems like a band will put out on Facebook, hey, come see us at the Pops local stage at Point
Fest.
And
no one shows up.
And there may be 6 likes on the, on the post, or something. And
well, that's indicative of that
know?
band, not the scene necessarily.
That's true. That's true.
But
I'm just saying, is that as far as they've gone to reach people to get them to the show versus how you guys would do it back then?
I don't know. We gotta bring some guys on and ask them. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that social media is and can be a crutch, and people think that it's good enough. It's a good enough marketing tool. So, and I saw this, you know, some of the last few shows that I've played when we were selling tickets, and a lot of bands were they were posting every once in a while about it. I know they weren't working hard to sell tickets, and their sales showed. You know, I was taught very early on by some of my favorite bands from this area that if you're worth of shit, you can fill a place. Doesn't matter what you sound like, doesn't matter what kind of band you are, what genre, it doesn't matter where you're from. If you know how to work hard and you come across as likable and you put on a good show and your music is good, and I say good meaning someone's going to like it.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. You can fill a place regardless of the size. That's how I was trained. That's how I was taught. And that's what I tried to work for. I was very dissatisfied with low ticket sales, regardless of where we played. I was very dissatisfied with playing in front of 30 people. It's happened. I've done it, but it's not, I mean, it's fun, but it's not as rewarding as playing in front of 1,000. And anyone that tells you that it is, they're lying. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. It just doesn't. I can use other people that I'm friends with who I know work hard and who I know. Well, Brook Royal is a perfect example of guys who really busted their asses to fill places when they played it, and they didn't rely on anything other than their hard work and other than like busting their asses to get people in the place. And so like, and I say that like I'm a bad example just because like the first Point Fest I ever played, not the first one, the second one. The first one was with a very old band that I was in that. But like it was our third show as a band. And we played for like over 1,000 people. And we were added to the show late. It was a favor. And the whole stipulation was we had to do the next battle we had to do if we were given Point Fest, which we did, and we won, and then we played again, and the rest is history.
That was the local stage is what you guys played, right?
Yeah, we played again. See, you keep doing it. I'm telling you, they need to stop calling it that.
I'm doing it on purpose just to specify what stage I'm talking about. So the reason why I say that,
let me hold on before I forget, because this is the whole thing. You said like what's changed.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I don't know. No one knew who we were.
Yeah.
But yet we had 1,000+ people watching us.
Yeah.
And you can see there's a video on YouTube of us playing at that show. Yeah. You can see people walking by and stopping and staying. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm trying to recall like the lineup on that stage that day. Like if there was somebody who was like a showstopper, like people were, but you know, I think every band on that stage that day was good. That was Brook Royal's first show as a band, or first, like one of their first shows.
So did you play that stage with Killer Me Killer You?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the band. So did you play a side stage for Point Fest? I know you did for Uproar Tour. Okay. So what moves you from that local stage to a side stage? Just popularity or?
Yeah, sure. Definitely. Us specifically, like I said, we got put on the local stage. I hate calling it that. We got put on the pop stage. How about that?
Okay.
We got put on the pop stage. We played it. And again, the stipulation was we had to sign up for the next battle. We did. We won it. Then we played the side stage, opened the side stage. After that, we played the pop stage 1 or 2 more times. I think maybe 2 more times. Again, both of which just tons of people. There are videos from those shows too. So like you can fact check me on this. And then we got put on the side stages. Yeah, just I guess out of popularity. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we got paid, which is pretty bizarre to like go collect a check from Live Nation for
Oh,
playing.
really?
Yeah, it was a very surreal moment.
Yeah.
I walked into the offices there because I was the most sober one, believe it or not. And it was very surreal to get paid to play a festival that you grew up going to and had played so many times before. And, you just play and you hope that people enjoy it. The transition from pop stage to side stage. Yeah. Popularity. I mean, Inimical's done it several times. They didn't, I know they battled early on, but no, they got put on it because they're a popular band.
Yeah. Well,
so,
I guess I'm just thinking of like the progression from the pop stage to a side stage to a main stage. Because I'm thinking about years ago, I mean, probably 10 years ago, going to Point Fest and Papa Roach was on a side stage. And I remember him saying, get me to the main stage next year. You guys need to tell the Point we want to be on the main stage.
Yeah.
And I don't ever see him being on a side stage again. But I'm also thinking about when Point Fest was supposed to happen in May this year. There was a big controversy about when the storm was coming in, because Jelly Roll was originally going to be on the first band on the main stage, I think.
Yeah.
And they had moved him to the side stage. But everybody was like so pissed off that they were going to move him to the side stage. Like a side stage is a lesser stage. But I remember
I'd rather play the side stage.
Yeah, I remember seeing on like social media, Tony Patrico from The Point got on there and said, guys, trust me, Jelly Roll is going to be a guy that you would rather see on the side stage than the main 100%. Stage, especially as the first band on main stage. Which of course that ended up not happening, and then Jelly Roll was not on this, the rescheduled Point Fest, which kind of sucks because I would like to have seen his performance, but still, it's interesting to think about the progression from one stage to another. But I've seen some crazy Point Fest too. Back when they used to do like 30 bands for $30.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if they like. I don't know what's happened since then. I guess like how it was. They were able to get like 30 bands to come and play. And I remember, I don't know what years these are because they all like meld together, but I remember bands like when Sum 41 played, they did, it wasn't even a side stage. It was like a middle stage in the lot. And people were like sitting on top of buildings and stuff, watching them play.
Yeah.
And it was nuts. Do you remember the band Say Anything?
Of course. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they played that same one. I think Smile Empty Soul was on that.
Yeah.
Bill also. Yeah.
There are tons of bands. We've gone through these lineups before on this
I'm
show.
sure, man. I'm just thinking, man, I wish Point Fest could be as good as it was then.
Well, look, man, I think it still is good. I think those were just different. Like I said, the music industry was different. The Point was different. They were a different company. You got to think they were owned by a different company during those years.
Yeah.
Again, back to St. Louis music. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's changed.
But the thing we've talked about before is that it's not just like the pop stage at Point Fest. It's like pops in general when they do the battles and stuff like that. It's, I just.
Oh, they're nothing like they used to be.
They're nothing like they used to be. And
and you say that, and you've never been to one where it was packed.
No, but I've seen the videos.
Yeah.
Of how packed it was. And to think that, holy shit, that was a Battle for Point Fest show. Yeah. And I've been to a Battle of Point Fest show in the past couple of years where I bet there was 18 people there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Did you go when I was in Monsters and we battled the final?
No.
Okay.
I think I've only been to one battle.
Okay. I mean, that one was packed. And it was funny because we get in the weeds here, but whatever. we so we for many years as a band were like, we're never gonna do that. And I personally was just like over it, like, yeah, guys, it would be cool to play Point Fest, but they're not gonna just put us on it, no matter if we had found a way to get on the radio and we had some things cooking, but it was just like, I had connections and other people had connections, and we were exhausting them a little bit, like just being like, hey, if you need the band, we'll do it, whatever. And I finally was to the point like, guys, why don't we just, it would be very beneficial for us to not only do the battles, because we know that we're going to work hard to bring people. If the other bands don't, they don't. At least it'll prove to people that we can bring people to a show.
Mm-hmm.
And we can move some tickets. So I go, at the very least, we can do the battles. We can sell a lot of tickets. We can prove that we're able to do that. If we win, then we're set, then we're a part of the bill. We're on the flyer, whatever. So the second to last round or whatever. So you have like two finals, I guess, from what I'm remembering how they did it. There was a band that sold like 350 tickets, which for those shows is insane. That's just like, what the fuck? And we were like, Jesus Christ. And the whole point is like, if you sell the most tickets, you get to pick when you play and what stage you play on. Typical battle bullshit. And we were always like,
can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Do you think any bands ever bought a bunch of tickets on their own and gave the tickets away?
Yeah. That was going to be my next point. So I think
I'm sorry, my bad.
I think this band did that because there were definitely not 350 supporters of them there when they played.
Right. Yeah.
Which is fine. They were more concerned with picking their time slot and whatever. No big deal. We were never really concerned when or what stage we played on. Not a big deal to us. So that particular show, we sold, I want to say they sold 350. I think another band sold 250 and we sold 200 maybe. Which again, if you're a local band, you need to move at least 100 tickets to a show. Yeah. You have 5 people in your band, that's 20 tickets a person. That ain't shit.
Right.
350 really shouldn't be that impressive to anyone. Yeah. But for that time period, given what had gone on with the battles and everything, that was like a big deal. So
I was just thinking, like you're saying, if you sell the most tickets and you get the opportunity to choose like all this different stuff because of it, everything, if you can move 200 tickets and you buy 150 of them just to give away, then you kind of, I think it's cheating the system a little bit, but you have to think that they would know that bands could probably do that too.
Oh, they know. I mean, it's very evident when bands do that.
Yeah.
But for us, I was like 200. We were thinking, oh, that's solid. We wanted to do more, obviously, but nonetheless, we go, fuck. So we're at the point where we're picking, and our options were either play at the end of the night on the big stage at Pops, or you can open up the smaller stage, right? Which means you're the second band to go on.
Okay.
So like a band plays on the main stage first, and then we would be, so we chose that. And people were like, what are these assholes doing? Why do they want to play so early instead of playing on the big stage? Like everybody's like, I want to play main stage. I'm not playing that side stage. We didn't give a fuck. And it was so funny. I remember, so we get that slot. And so now we're like calling all the people, or a lot of the people we sold tickets to, being like, hey, we're playing at 7:30. So you might want to hustle. And I remember calling Bon, and I was like, yeah, dude, just to let you know, I know you're going to be here eventually, but we're playing second. I know you've seen me 1,000 times, but I'm just letting you know. And then, so he was actually there, and I see him like later on, and he grabs me. He goes, wait a minute. Do you mean to tell me that you guys chose to play second? I was like, yeah. He goes, Jesus Christ, man. I go, yeah, we don't fuck. What the fuck? Who cares? It's not going to change the way we play.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, apparently people were like, we can't believe, well, we also had a stigma about us where people thought our shit didn't stink. Right. So I was kind of like, yeah, guys, we're not better than anybody here. What the fuck do you think's going on?
Yeah.
My whole point of telling that story was, even then there were bands that we're still trying to move tickets. Now, the band that sold 350, they didn't sell 350, but they brought a lot of people. You could tell.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's how many years ago was that Point Fest? I mean, that's when Chris Cornell died. So
yeah, that was a long time ago.
And yeah, several years. That's the last one I've been a part of.
Yeah. I'm thinking about back to Monster too. I think I only seen you guys play once.
Block Party or something.
No, it was the fire. No, I lied. Sorry. I forgot about the Block Party. Outside of the Block Party, I think I only seen you once, which it was the Firebird. Did you guys play with Hard Loss at the Firebird once?
No.
No? Okay, maybe that was a different show then. Okay.
No, we never played with them. I don't think well,
I definitely seen you at the Firebird though.
Who was the St. Louis opener at this one? Was there one?
The St. Louis opener, like the first band to play on side stage? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. The Richters or one of those bands that got canceled all those times? Or they already play?
They played on side stage, but I'm not sure. I don't remember what the lineup looked like because, like I said, we didn't get there until Brook Royal played, which is like 2:15.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
Yes.
Oh, New Year's Day. So New Year's Day. Yeah. That man, we really got in the weeds there. New Year's Day. I'm sorry I ruined the tracks for you. Don't let me forget, but it's funny. You talk about the tracks and it's like, you and a lot of people don't ask questions about it. And I just keep looking back at videos or just keep seeing videos because people are on the internet are talking about it. And they also don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but of Post Malone falling through the stage and the vocals just continue. In all the comments of all the videos and all like that went viral. No one is asking that question. No one's bringing it up.
Yeah.
It's almost, I know in the pop world it's expected, but Post Malone can sing.
Yeah.
People know that he can sing.
Right.
So like the fact that no one goes, hey, wait, what happened? It's just funny to me. I'm not hating on him,
Which if we were talking about 20 years ago and we had this conversation, I would be like, well, maybe people are just like trying to be nice about it because the dude got hurt. But now in the age of social media, I'm like, how is it possible that people aren't talking about this? Because people don't give a shit on social media.
Oh, definitely not.
I'm surprised. Unless people just don't care, maybe. I don't know.
I think, well, like I said, I think it's expected with pop music. I don't think people mind all that much. I think they want to see the spectacle of their favorite pop artist and the hit songs. So I guess he fits into that. With rock bands, I think it goes very much unnoticed. And I don't think people are talking about it. I think people are starting to, but I'm sorry for ruining it.
No, it's all good.
But I've been talking about it for a long time because I've played with bands that use them, vocal tracks, that is,
I mean, to me, learning as much as I have from you as far as like the music industry goes and stuff like that, it actually kind of gives me more of a respect towards bands. Not that I don't respect bands who use tracks. I definitely do. But I don't know, kind of more of a respect for bands that I know aren't using tracks, especially if they have a really good performance and a really good show that they put on with it.
Yeah, I mean,
and it may be more few and far between now these days that people aren't using tracks versus who is. I don't know. But
yeah, all of the bands that I like, for the most part, use them. Now, I'm not saying vocal tracks. Vocal tracks are a whole nother issue for me. I think if you have background vocal tracks, that's fine. Those have been in existence for a very long time, even in rock music. But lead vocal tracks, it's like, man, it's a slippery slope for me. As a singer, and I've been with people. Like I said, I was at that Day to Remember and Beartooth show, and I was with a couple people who are in bands and who do sing, and they're like, dude, if I were on the road every night right now, I would need them. And I'm like, well, I guess, I guess, but I always look back at, Alexis on Fire is one of my favorite bands ever. And they went away for a couple of years, and this is so long ago at this point, but they went away for a couple of years and they came back and they played Reading in 2015. It's like a huge deal. Because they're very popular in the UK, but also because it was their comeback. And I just remember going, they have two really amazing singers and a screamer, zero tracks. But that music was that music was recorded with the intent of not having them. Meaning when they recorded those songs that they played at this show, tracks weren't really a big thing. So they weren't a band that was going to use them.
Yeah.
Now, they're back a little bit and they've played some shows and there's new stuff. Could they use them? Sure. I would say maybe not, because of the type of band they are and the type of integrity they come from, being like, I'm just going to call them punk. I know people won't say that they're real punk, but I call that they're punk to me. Okay. Being punk rock, like I think they would probably go, no, we're not going to use that. We're just going to, you get what you get out of us. Right.
Right.
I use them as an example of a band who came back at a time when they were being used and it fucking sounded awesome. So they proved that, like, look, if you're good at what you do, you can make it work without them.
Right. I can still see how each night could vary on if you actually need them or not. Now, I don't know if bands just decide, listen, we have the tracks, we're going to use them every night, or if they, if the singer is having an off day or some throat issues or something like that, that maybe they would use them then. And I don't know why this popped in my head just now, but I wonder if it changes based off of where you're playing. Like if you're in an open venue or you're inside. And I also wonder if it matters, if altitude matters. So like if I were to go play a show in Colorado right now, that's going to be like a lot higher altitude, it's going to be more difficult for me to put on my performance, which is going to put a strain on my voice. I wonder if using tracks would be better off to do then.
Yeah, fuck that.
These are just random questions. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, I'm not buying that.
But I think the real question,
if you're gonna use tracks, you're gonna use tracks.
I guess the real question I have is the indoor versus outdoor. Like if you're like playing Hollywood Casino Amphitheater in St. Louis versus playing the Pageant, would you use tracks inside or would you use track outside if you had to choose?
Well, I mean, look, at the Pageant, they're going to be easier to notice than at a big amphitheater like that. So
true. That's true.
I think bands just get married to the idea and they do it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's this time will work and this time we're going to try without it. I think if you're going to use them, you're going to use them.
Yeah.
And again, I don't, necessarily oppose the idea of using them. I just think that there's a tasteful way to do it. And I think there's, an egregious way of doing it where it's like, all right, come on, man.
Right.
Like I said, that show I was just talking about, Bad Omens, played, and I'm just like, fuck me, these songs are really good, but I don't know that dude sang a lick since they started. Yeah. Like I can't tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
Even the screams, sounded so digital to me. Yeah. Like I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And the sad part is I really like a lot of those songs. So, how did we talk about this? New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they used tracks. Was it egregious? Was it like noticeable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what made me think of. Well, they made me think of Post Malone and how nobody said a goddamn word about it. But anyway, right. So you noticed?
Yes, I did, for sure.
It was that bad, huh?
I mean, the show was good, and they may not have been able to put on the show that they did.
No, I mean they were bad. I'm just saying the tracks were so noticeable. It was that bad.
To me, yes. Now, am I looking for those kinds of things now? Yeah, I don't know who to blame for that, but
God, I ruined you, dude. I'm sorry.
It's all good. But you brought me a topic about from a YouTube video about the 10 longest screams in metal?
Oh yeah. Did you watch that?
I did. So
okay. Well, the whole reason I sent you that.
Go ahead.
No. So the whole reason I sent you that is I follow a guy on Twitter He's actually a really good follow on Twitter. He's like a rock guy. He always just he tweets like every 2 minutes, but it's always like a music question. But his question today, or one that I saw today, was who has the best scream in music history? Now, my brain immediately went to all of the obscure hardcore punk and metal bands that I listen to.
Yeah.
I think his brain was like, who has the best like classic rock scream? Like he was thinking Zeppelin and Steven Tyler, like that,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
And then I started looking at the comments. I'm like, oh yeah, he's wow. I was gonna quote tweet it and like be like, fucking, somebody totally random, but like he was like, oh yeah, I'm thinking like classic rock. So then I was like, well, who are some of the better? I wonder, like, and then I went down a YouTube rabbit hole and just started looking for like best screams in rock history, best screams in metal history. But I found the one that I sent you is best live screams, which I think is completely different.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
And immediately when I opened up the list, they had Chester on there, and Chester really does have some of the best fucking live screams. Like that dude. But I'll tell you what, the one on that list is from the song Give It Up. Is it called Give It Up, right? From Minutes to Midnight. Give It All.
Given Up.
Given Up. That's right. Yeah. And then, but I'll tell you what, when they first started, when they were touring on Hybrid Theory, they would open with their set with the song With You.
Yeah.
And he would do this scream to open up the set. You can actually, my favorite video of all time of him doing that is from Rock 'em Ring 2001. And we actually may need to do that before we get out of here. But it's so fun. Like he does this, that he just says the words "come on," and he does his Chester scream, and you just see the fucking crowd, like 50,000 people start bouncing. I was like, oh my God, it gives me chills thinking about it. We need to watch that. Pull up that list, because I think it's interesting to think about live screams versus just, recorded vocals. I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch the whole video. I watched Chester and I watched maybe the Color Morale guy, but there are some interesting people on that list.
Let's see.
But I think what they're gauging as like best live scream is like, how fucking long can you hold out the most blood vessel busting scream? The whole reason I sent you that list is just, it just got me thinking about just obscure, like you said, you think of Chester, which is a good one. Like I said, he's insane with his screams. But I'll tell you what, my favorite is from the band Calico System, St. Louis band, or St. Louis based band, even though they're from Illinois. But they have a song called Love Will Kill All. But my favorite thing that he did, and this was a live thing too. I mean, he did the scream on record, but live, he does this, like, there's this like transition part where it's just like this soft guitar, like haunting guitar, and he just screams the words "Love Will Kill All." Okay. So on record, it's really great too, because he's a really good screamer. His name's Mark. This is going to sound goofy because he and I are friends, but whatever. I like my friends' bands. I don't give a fuck. But when they would do it live, he wouldn't do it into the mic, and he would just test himself to see who could actually, he would just do it without a mic, and it would echo throughout clubs. And it was the coolest fucking thing. And I remember, and a lot of times, a lot of the shows I would see them at, it's their crowd. They're playing with bands that are like them. But I remember one time, for whatever reason, they booked a show with Il Nino at Pops. Just two completely different bands.
Yeah.
Could they play? I think ultimately, like, on paper, it's like, why would they do that? But then when they got there and they played, like, people were into it. But like, and this is already like after Il Nino has kind of like fizzled out from their like Freddie versus Jason fame. Like, they're not bringing as many people to shows. And I remember he did it at this show in front of a Pops crowd. There was probably like 200 people. And it just echoed throughout Pops. And I just remember hearing people go, holy fucking shit, when he did it. Like, people are like, God damn. And it was their first song or second song they played. And he won over people just with that one moment.
Wow.
And, had people come back from up from the bar and from the other side. And it's my favorite scream ever. I don't care what anyone says.
I've always been interested in the placement of those kinds of screams for bands. Like, where do you do it in the first song or two and get it out of the way? Like, if you have one song that you have a good scream with, or do you wait until the end? But then I think you're taking a chance on that your vocal cords are stressed from the rest of the set, that now you may not be able to put it together as well towards the end. I'm always curious.
Or you could be like the guy I was just talking about, where you scream in every song.
Yeah.
For the majority of the song.
There's that.
This one was so cool is because it's a momentous part vocally, but again, live, he wouldn't do it into the mic, which is fucking crazy that anybody could hear him at these bigger places when there were more people. But it was so cool. That's mine. And they're also like, well, from the list that, one of the ones that people were saying when that guy tweeted about it was, Steven Tyler in the song Dream On at the end.
Yeah.
That's a great rock and roll scream. But that's like a rock and roll scream. In my mind, is he screaming? Sure. But to me, it's more singing.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
He's wailing.
Yeah.
But what we know is screaming now, I think we know of something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's powerful.
We should probably talk about the passing of Coolio.
Well, of course.
I haven't seen, have they released what happened?
I don't believe so. No, the story that I saw is that he was at a friend's house, went to the bathroom and never returned. And then they found him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. He was 59, correct?
Yep.
Way too early to lose the guy. But so give me, as far as Coolio as a topic, did you have a favorite song of his? Because I know you posted on social media earlier today or yesterday about it, and basically said, like, you showed a picture of the hits, Fantastic Voyage and Gangsta's Paradise and stuff like that, but you also said you need to go back and listen to all of it.
Yeah, well, no, that was two separate things. So I posted,
Okay.
I posted a story. It was the album cover of It Takes a Thief. And I posted the song County Line, which is my favorite song by him. It was just, that was a rest in peace story post or whatever. But, people have been, well, the whole reason I posted, go listen to the other stuff, is that he's like number 1 on the iTunes charts right now. Right. So I posted that official story and I said, hey, for all of you folks who are, go ahead.
Is that because of his passing?
Well, of course. What else would it be?
I just curious. I was wondering, has he put out something recently for that?
Oh, no.
Missed me that.
No, it's Gangsta's Paradise. It's number 1 on the iTunes charts.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But like my post was just simply, for all these people who are buying these, and I said that, look, this is great, but for all these people who are buying these songs just now, why haven't you had go listen to the rest of the catalog? Because I know Gangsta's Paradise was a huge song. It was a hit. I know Fantastic Voyage was a popular song. He has such a good catalog of specifically from those 2 records when he blew up. There are really, really good songs. I mean, songs that I think are better than those 2 songs on those records. Yeah. Right. So I think you need to go listen to them. I said the same thing when DMX died. DMX had a shit ton of hits, but those records, the songs that were not hits, the deep cuts from those records are just, in my mind, he has 2 of the best albums ever made. And they both came out within like a calendar year, which is the more insane thing about him.
Wow.
Yeah. His first 2 records. So yeah, but with Coolio, I mean, I'll say this. I posted it, tweeted it or whatever, but I'll say it now. Go check out the rest of his stuff. You'd really be surprised.
Yeah.
He's like very under the radar, really good MC that, he's known for the, Gangsta's Paradise, obviously. He's known for, the goofy hair and being Coolio, but no, go listen. County Line is my favorite song, and that's from his debut record.
What year was his debut record?
94.
94. Okay.
94.
I don't know if he was like late 80s into early 90s, or if he was just
no. Well, he hit it. No, it was 94, and he hit it in the music industry when he was older. Typically, a lot older than most people are when they hit. I want to say he was pushing 30.
Okay.
Well, let's see. We said he was 59, but he was 31 when his debut came out.
Okay.
And then he didn't hit it big. I mean, that was a good record for him, but he didn't hit it big until Gangsta's Paradise, which I think came out a year later. Yeah, a year later. So he was 32. That's what I thought. Yeah, he was 32.
Nice.
So like in the music industry, that's really late to get successful. So for whatever it's worth.
Yeah. He also did the Kenan and Kel theme.
That bums me out that you know that, and that you felt like you needed to bring that up. No,
Yeah,
that's
I watched Kenan and Kel a lot.
Do you remember when Weird Al did the Gangsta's Paradise cover?
Amish Paradise, yep.
Do you remember when Coolio was like he was like publicly being like, yeah, I'm not cool with that. I don't really appreciate it. I think he's like making fun of the song. I think it was on Howard Stern actually that he said it.
I thought he had to go, like he had to talk to each person or each band before he redid a song. Because I know there was several that he tried to reach out to and they were like, no thanks. So he couldn't actually do it. I feel like I know the answer to this, but are you a Weird Al fan?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine. He's fine. It is what it is. Whatever. But I'm a fan. No.
Have you seen the trailer for the new movie coming out?
Yeah, it doesn't. Harry Potter's playing him, right?
Yes, Harry Potter. Yeah, that's
the guy's name. That guy's just going to have to face facts. You're Harry Potter for the rest of your life. Legally speaking, or music industry speaking, I don't know if he ever got permission, but Coolio said it was one of the less smart things I've done in my career, being that he talked shit about Weird Al and was pissed about it. Shit, he parodied Michael Jackson, he parodied Prince, he parodied all kind of cats that are much more of an artist than I'll ever be, and they didn't say shit. I shouldn't have said shit. It actually made me look kind of stupid and small. I'm not going to say I regret it, but I kind of do. I regret that shit. I should have just let it go. There you go.
I mean, you would think that it's not going to hurt your career if you let Weird Al do a parody. It may even help it because people may be interested in going back to the original song and seeing what it,
I mean, like, then it definitely helped. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say that Nirvana was not very excited about him covering them either.
Yeah, I know there were several. Like there's stories about him reaching out to several different people that were like, no thanks. We're
What
good.
Are some of the biggest ones? So there's the Gangsta's Paradise one. There's Smells Like Nirvana. He did the Michael Jackson. Was it I'm Fat?
Yes, he did that. One of the more newer ones was the White and Nerdy instead of Riding Dirty.
Yes.
Which
who and fucking
who did Riding Dirty?
Chamillionaire.
Chamillionaire, that's right. I was thinking Young Jeezy for some reason.
Close. God bless you for even knowing that name. And I feel like that's a safe place to end this show. I'm gonna let's let you end on a win.
I can't. Okay, are you being serious or are you being?
Yeah, I'm being 100% serious.
Dude, I liked Young Jeezy.
Okay. It's the proudest moment of my life.
Oh, wow.
And I have a kid. But before we go, I just want to say, I want to wish a speedy recovery to Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins.
Absolutely.
That was a brutal scene. You and I watch fighting a lot. We see guys get knocked out cold. We see them go stiff. It's for some reason when it happens on a football field, I react to it. I don't know if you're the same way. I react to it differently. I was watching that live last night and I was like my body shut down. I was like, what the fuck?
It's scary. And last week I think it was the Giants game that I was watching. And I think based off of camera views and stuff, you could clearly see it happen, but they didn't say anything about it or do anything about it.
Yeah.
One of the guys got hit in the end zone and he got hit in the helmet and then his helmet bounced off the ground. And he was laying there for like 2 seconds, but I think he had caught the ball for a touchdown. And 3 of the guys from the team ran over and grabbed him and picked him up and he was just limp. But then the camera cut away from it immediately. And then they were kept showing the replay of it, but it was weird because nobody was saying anything about the fact that he just went limp on the field because he got his head hit twice. But I think it was, they were able to get away without saying anything about it because the guys on his team picked him up so fast.
Right.
And you couldn't really see that he was limp. But I was like, that guy is not good right now. Like, they need to be taking him back for concussion protocol immediately. But yeah, so same thing with Tua. I know there's conspiracy around it too, because apparently he got hit last week as well.
Last week was bad. I mean, he got knocked back and he hit his head on the turf.
And a lot
he
of
got
people
up and then stumbled.
And a lot of people are saying that he shouldn't have got back out there and played that soon, but I don't know what concussion protocol looks like. And I would think that he went through the right.
Well, look, here's my conspiracy theory. He wanted to finish that game.
Yeah.
I feel like that guy specifically feels like he has a lot to prove. And I feel like he wants to shut a lot of people up. A lot of the media members, a lot of the people saying he's not an elite quarterback. He's not the guy for the Dolphins. I think he feels he has something to prove. And I think he wanted to finish that game because it's a huge game. They're playing arguably the best team in the AFC, everybody's Super Bowl pick. I think he wanted to prove something. But it's the Miami Dolphins' job to protect him from himself in that situation. That's my conspiracy theory. I don't think it's been stated that Tua was like, no. I know Tua said, no, it's my neck and my back. It's not my head. Well, how the fuck do you know, man? If you were knocked unconscious for a second, you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, your neck and back are sore because you've been playing football for fucking 4 quarters. Or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not saying anything negative about Tua. You want to play, I'm good,
Yeah.
But a lot of guys want to play hero ball, and it's the team's responsibility to stop them from doing that. But some teams will go, yeah, we'll let you. The play last night, when you play football, you kind of learn how to protect yourself when you get hit. When you get, you learn how to take a hit so that you don't hit your head. Quarterbacks are a little bit different because they're the playmakers. They're trying to elude. Well, with Tua last night, he got spun around, but you can see it if you watch the replay. There was a split second where he thought, I'm going to throw the ball. So what it did was it brought his throwing hand up, and it kind of made him defenseless for that hit, meaning his head hitting the turf.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas had he not trying to throw the ball, and again, this is just me armchair quarterbacking the situation, but had he not thought about throwing that ball, he could have kept his arm here, and perhaps this shoulder would have softened the blow a little. It would have sucked regardless.
Yeah.
But you could see, like he tried to do last week, like he is going to continue to try to do, he's trying to be the hero a little bit. He thought maybe I could get a throw off here, which a lot of quarterbacks, that's their instinct. Can I get a pass off before I get sacked, before I get tackled? But in that situation, a lot of quarterbacks know, I'm just going to take the sack and I'm going to try not to get hurt.
Right.
Now, he had a 300-pound monster throwing him to the ground. So who knows if he could even have done anything, but I don't know.
And it's weird too. You mentioned like that we watch fights a lot and stuff, which is very true. And we've seen guys get knocked dead and then get medically suspended for a while.
6 weeks.
You don't, and you don't see that in football. Like, a guy can get knocked dead and then they can pass concussion protocol and whatever and be back to play the next week as long as everything's good. I don't know that that's the right way to look at it, but I think Rogan has mentioned it before when talking about football, but how like guys who are on the line that are just every play, it's just bashing yourself into another guy. Like that's your job, is to just bash yourself into another guy. Those helmets are keeping you from being able to get hit in the head, but they're not keeping your brain from being able to jar back and forth inside your head.
But they're also making you hit people harder.
Yeah, right.
They are. It sounds dumb.
No, they are. You're right.
If you're not wearing a helmet, you don't go head first into anyone. Some crazy guys do. Yeah. But yeah, no, he got knocked dead. Like if that happens to him in the octagon, you're not going to see him fight for a year.
Right.
Could he come back before a year's time? Sure. But he's going to be medically suspended for at the very least 6 weeks.
Right.
And then it's very unlikely that the UFC or whatever organization books him a fight if he get knocked dead like that. So I don't know. Anyway, speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
All the conspiracies. And, again, my conspiracy is just that I think the guy wants to win. I think he's a gamer. I think he's a badass. I think he wants to prove to people that he's elite. I think he wants to prove to people that he can take the Dolphins to the Super Bowl. I think he's a competitive guy. That's my conspiracy. So why was he in the game last night? Because he wanted to be there. That's my opinion. That's my conspiracy.
Right. So the only thing is what you said earlier is that the team is still supposed to be there. The staff has to be there to save them from themselves.
Correct.
If there is an issue. So I don't know.
Correct. So